I would like to introduce Peter Bodie, Board Chair of Gtiombo, to offer opening welcome and prayer.
Lord, we just ask you to bless this meeting. And we thank you for all the participants, all the people here together with a heart for Gitombo. And we ask that you bless the children and bless Wanji and just make this a fun event and inspire us all with the story of the Adami family who visited Gitombo, and they have some great stories to tell. And just open everyone's heart and experience Gitombo together. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Peter. So here I mentioned a little earlier that we are in my home. We have Deanna and Samantha and James with us, but Randy's actually traveling. So Randy's going to join us from wherever he is, I think somewhere in Arizona. But we'll begin with just, I'd like to do a brief introduction now. I've known Deanna since we were on the board together, but she's known Wanji for 20 some years, I believe. Very good friend. They attended seminary together. And Samantha and James, my goodness, I've been so impressed and I've so enjoyed just getting to know them better. So let's go ahead and let them take it away and give you their interpretation and their experience from the trip they took in January to Gtiombo.
All right.
Deanna.
So it's great to be with you all here today, and thank you for joining us to kind of hear our story and what it was like for us to be in Kenya. So
our own speaker.
Oh.
So I've been involved with Gtiombo from the beginning, and I'll provide you a little more detailed information about that later, as I was asked to kind of discuss a little bit about how we came to decide on the timing of when we went to Kenya. So for myself, that happened many years ago. I was actually talking about someday going to visit with a friend of mine who spent a lot of time traveling as a child. She advised me that we would want our youngest son to be about 9 or 10 years old. And then also around that time frame, I had been talking to Wanji about, our hopes to someday make it to Kenya. And she said, when we come, we really want to go during the dry season, which puts us around January or February. So we targeted January 2026, when our children would have been at ages 9.5 and 12.5. And then we waited for 7 long years. And we were very fortunate that the timing actually did work out for us. And we headed to Kenya in this January, and we visited there for 10 days, 4 of which we spent at the school. So that's where we'll kind of start. Okay. So each day we were staying kind of in a suburb of Nairobi, and we would take the hour-long drive out to the school. So we started, within the very busy city of Nairobi, which you see here. It's a typical city that you'd find anywhere. Big highways, lots of traffic, lots of big buildings. Next slide. But then here we see a little bit of more what we kind of think when we think of Kenya. You see the little metal rooftop shops with the big apartment buildings in the background. And as we traveled out of the city, next slide, we would get to smaller cities and towns, somewhat like this one that we would drive through. And then eventually we got out to the countryside, which was absolutely gorgeous. So here we happen to be on, most of the roads now became dirt. Some of them were very nice. Some of them were very rough. And many of them were extremely steep. It was almost like 4-wheel driving. So they really utilized their space. I mean, these plants you see are planted on a really steep hillside, but it's just lush and beautiful. And eventually we get onto the road. They had just before we came nearly finished the road right in front of the school. So the next photo will show our first glimpse of a building that was currently in construction on campus. So the next slide we'll see, so this is one of the walls outside of the school. And I just love it, has all of its core values on it. And then the next slide is again the other wall. And I just love the saying that says, reading takes you to different places, countries, and continents. And then we have our first view as they've opened up the gates to the long-awaited sight of being able to come to the school and be at PAAV-Gtiombo. Let me see here. So here we are, super excited, and let's see here. So each day we received the warmest welcome from the children and the teachers, and not just the first day, but every day we arrived, they were so excited to see us, and they'd shake our hands, and we just got the warmest welcome that you can imagine. And we had brought some Frisbees with us, and Wanji thought that that would be a great icebreaker moment for us. And it really did. It wasn't, it was a fun activity, but it really opened up as a gateway for us, a really easy transition of being able to connect and interact with the children. And so, I don't know how we move on. So here we are throwing the Frisbees around, meeting the children, meeting the teachers, and it really was just a great time. And so during our time there, we did go into each and every classroom. But I'll be honest, my favorite classrooms were the kindergarten through third grade. So we have a few pictures of really preschool and kindergarten, but if you notice, you have these wonderful, posters up all over. And in the preschool and kindergarten, they're pretty basic, right? Mm-hmm. Pictures, you get the alphabet and so forth. So if you want to, so just a few pictures of the younger classrooms. And then what I really loved in the second and third grade classrooms, they had these amazing posters. And so we just have a selection of them here that you can slowly kind of go through so people can see. But what really amazed me is, so school actually starts in January there. And so we happened to visit on the second week of school. And so you have these little preschoolers who only speak Swahili, and they're just so adorable. But by the time you start interacting with the second and third graders, they are speaking fluent Swahili and English. And so these are the posters that I just was so impressed with in those second and third grade classrooms. And it just, for me, I'm American. I only speak one language. I'm a little ashamed to say that. And I probably don't even speak English all that well. But to see how well these children are taught in such a short amount of time was just really impressive. So you can kind of, and then I thought I'd include a few pictures of some of the teachers. We met many more than I have here. But this woman, she is the kindergarten teacher. Her name is Wathira. And then next I should have a slide. Yes. So this is her with some of her little kindergarten students. She appears to be helping one. Maybe they got something in their eye there. And then let's see here. So this is Grace, the head teacher. And so, all the other teachers at the school really look to her for her leadership and helping to organize things and make sure that, just as teachers, things are running well. The next photo. Oh no, where's Andrew? I think we skipped.
There we go.
Okay. So here's Andrew. He taught both Swahili and agriculture, and he was just so energetic and enthusiastic. He was just really amazing to be around. And then the next slide, these two people with Wanji are James and Jessica, and they both do administrative work around the school, and they really did a fantastic job, with all the things while we were there. Now I just have, I don't know if this is, okay. So I guess here, I think what I'll be seeing is some of the photos from after school. I'm not sure. So
We'll just go
okay.
there. Yeah.
So we'll go back.
Yeah.
I took that last photo, go back just a little bit, just the one. We're there at the beginning of the warm season, right? And so it was kind of, the temperatures like during the day at first when we got there were around the 70s. But it was a little chilly in the mornings, it could be like maybe 40s, 50s. And so the children were coming to school in full on winter clothes. And so I just, I'm thinking, wow, we're in Africa, but here we are. It is a little chilly in the mornings. And so that's why this photo. And here's Randy with a couple of the youngsters. I don't know what happened to this poor little boy, but Randy's offering him some comforts. And then here's a photo of, just Randy and James hanging out with a group of students kind of in the main courtyard there. Just another photo of them hanging out. So all these were just kind of taken after school. I just thought it showed a nice picture of, we just really had a wonderful time.
How many years?
In a shoe.
The woman looks very old.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, another thing which was really incredible to me was to see firsthand the amount of growth that has occurred at the school over the last 12 years. So this photo is where it all began. This is where, Wanji started a preschool that had 3 or 4 kids, and the first years of the school were spent right here. Now this building is no longer in use officially with the school, but it has grown from those 3 to 4 students to now having over 200 students in grades preschool through 9th grade. So just incredible. And not just the growth of the school, but it's been amazing to see the intentionality of educating the young generations, helping the current community, and looking forward to continued expansion and growth, and just more service to the community. So we'll move on to the next slide. So part of seeing that growth is not just being on this campus, which Randy will speak to later. But here we are with the students. We're getting ready to head out to go to a field where they go once a week to do their physical activity. So go ahead and click forward. So here we are going down the road to the main road. It's very steep and rocky. The next slide. So we're just heading out to the field, and it's a little bit of a walk. I don't know, maybe 5-7 minutes. It wasn't too bad.
Part of their physical exercise.
That's right. That's right. So here we are. We've gotten there. We ran a loop around the field, and now they're being led in some stretching. And that day I got to they taught me a new sport. They let me participate, and I got to play netball, which is something I've never played. So here I am playing netball with the girls. There's one more photo of that. So it's almost kind of a cross between basketball and ultimate frisbee, where you're kind of passing a ball, but when you catch it, you can't move and you have to pass it to someone. But in the end, you're trying to get the basketball through the hoop. It was really fun. And also while we were out there were children just sitting around, braiding and weaving grasses. And so they taught us how to do that as well. So here's a little girl. I think we have they put this little crown on James's head there. And then this young boy named Alvin taught me how to weave. I did not get the greatest photo of that, but I was also holding my finished product there. But he had taught me how to weave the grass. So we were out at the field. Here we are coming back to the school. But that day we had actually gone, Wanji had taken us around that general area. And let me see here. She showed us a couple other places. This is the first place. They have property where they have both cows and coffee. So there's a couple gentlemen here who were taking care of the cows. And then in the next shot, Samantha's showing us some of the coffee beans there. And they are part of a co-op where they share that milk that's produced there with the community. And later in the week, Wanji had driven us past another entity that is a co-op for coffee, and they're in the process of maybe, joining that co-op as well. But another place that she had showed us that's between the field where they play and where the cows and coffee are is another piece of land. And Wanji really is hoping someday to purchase that piece of land. And it would be to build a campus for grades 10 through 12. And part of the reason for the need of having that land is that the government actually requires that the high school building be separate from where the campus with the younger students are. But again, it was just incredible to see the foresight and the thought of, we started with this teeny little metal building with our preschool. And now we've moved to this campus, which started as one building, and they have built as they have grown, building by building by building to what it is today. And then there's that future site that she really has her eyes on. But I have kind of ignored the current campus, and I'm going to let Randy now speak to, what is on the campus and the different buildings and kind of some things he learned about. So
great. Thank you so much, Deanna. And Randy, let's get you on board. Are you unmuted? Okay.
I think so. Am I coming through okay?
Yes, you might speak up just a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to do my best to follow slides with you. If you just tell me next, or I will.
He doesn't even know the slides.
Okay, then I'm just going to kind of go through and you speak your heart.
So starting out, this is the courtyard that we arrived at every day, and the children play at with the one basketball hoop, and along there, the yellow and the red building are the preschool and kindergarten. The other red building in that first slide was more of an activities building, and they use that as overflow. And now you see the building, the building on the left there is kind of an overflow, and the younger kids use that as well for classes and activities. And then, as you see, there's the building, three-story building under construction while we were there. And I understand by now it should be complete. And they were even using a room or two on the first floor, even though the other floors were not even complete. But I was able to talk briefly with George, and he's the one that was in charge of building that. And now we're back. The larger building on the left here is the original building on this site. And then you see a little bit of the round building with the shake shingle roof, and that was also on site. Every other thing I believe we see has been added since Wanji bought this property. So they did occupy this larger, which used to be a house, and put classrooms and things in this. Again, the round building with the shake shingle roof is now their kitchen, which I understood was like a man cave with the previous owners, but now is utilized as the kitchen. And the red roof building right adjacent to that is now the dining room for lunches and breakfast. And that's all the children obviously know that part of the campus.
Hey, Randy, I'm going to interrupt one thing. What you see there is pipes that are the water collection off the roofs, and that's they during the rainy season they store water.
Correct. And I was about to say
Oh,
the galvanized roof, round roof is a water storage tank, and those pipes do feed that from the gutters of the bigger buildings. And there's even some smaller black storage tanks that are just off the picture here. And then anything to the right is another property, that the neighboring property that is not part of the campus. But this is again one side of the existing house that was there that Wanji purchased. If we move to the next, there we go. The building behind the house now is this three-story elementary school building where there's primarily classrooms and also like a chemistry lab and a computer lab that the older children tend to utilize. And the upper floors, I believe they're broken in by, the ninth grade, eighth grade, seventh grade, and then down the different levels to third and fourth grade. So that was a building that was also built after Wanji purchased this house. There we are back on the playground plaza area and able to see the activity building on the right, the classroom building in the middle, and then the original house that is now like second and third grade, if I remember right. There's also a children's library in this building, some administrative spaces where Wanji has a conference room and a more adult library upstairs, some administrative space. And then another little corner at the first floor is their sewing room. This is their dining area where they enjoy their breakfast and lunches. And every day they come in and pick up their bowl and enjoy their meal at their homemade picnic tables. And there is myself with George. I'd call him the superintendent, and he's the one that managed and actually is working on finishing this new building. Everything from laying the masonry blocks to setting the handrails. He's installing some window frames in that picture. You see him up on a step stool in the orange suit. And he physically would perform probably 75% of the work. He's physically will plaster the walls. He'll install the windows and door frames, and he's doing amazing job. And like I said, it should be complete. I haven't seen pictures of it, but I understand it's complete. And they'll be able to move more classrooms into that space. That last picture was the field behind that fence, and we're standing on the backside of that fence. Between that fence and the other fence, which is beyond that, is the main road. And Wanji was showing me potential use of this area or this space, which would be adjacent to that new building we just saw. But she was trying to figure out how we could utilize this the best, and and uh, because this is a little bit of rocky and it's different elevations, and again, they were instructed they had to separate the areas by fencing, and George had actually had some helpers, and they put this fence together within a few weeks of us showing up. And I'm not sure if that's the last one, but back to you, Deanna. You might be on mute.
Sorry, technical difficulties here. We're back. And Samantha's with us. And Randy, that was amazing. Thank you. I just feel like I visited the school. It was really great to hear all of those details. And Amanda is Samantha, I know her name. Samantha's 12 years old and has great stories to share with us.
Yeah,
Samantha.
Hi, I'm Samantha, as you know, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my experience in PAAV-Gtiombo School. So I met a lot of kids when I first arrived. Some of them were in the grade 7, and when it was time for everyone to go to class, I went with them. It was very fun. Here I am in the 7th grade class, so I'm sitting, my experience was very fun. I'm sitting next to my friend Sharon. And beside her is my friend Ruth. The classroom looked very different than ours, and it had a little bit older stuff and looked a little more used. We got to learn some subjects that are not taught in the U.S. There were soil pollution and agriculture. I loved all the teachers. They were so sweet and so fun. There were several differences between the school here in the U.S. and the school at PAAV-Gtiombo in Kenya. First, they make their own uniforms right there at the school. Here's a photo of one of the seamstresses with an old sewing machine. So, yeah. This is a photo of Shadrach. So, yeah. With a newer machine. He actually graduated from PAAV-Gtiombo and got a degree in fashion. And is now working back at the school and helping to make uniforms. This is a photo of ladies using knitting machines, which I've never really heard of and seen before, which I think is super cool.
Making the sweaters.
And yeah, so here are some of the sweaters that have been made for the students' uniforms. Some more. And this is Marion. She's taking my measurements. She offered to make me a sweater. I even got to pick the colors. I chose red and blue.
And if you can see, he's wearing his sweater today. It was a good day for it, wasn't it, with all this snow? That is so cool, James. Thank you.
Okay, so back. The second difference is that they make the same lunch for all the students. They don't have different options. They have these huge pots, and these are all the ladies sorting the beans. These are the giant pots, as you can see. Yeah, they are very big. Okay, and the third difference was the cafeteria. So we just walked in and grabbed a bowl that was already filled with food. So they had already kind of served it to us and walked to a table. But we got to eat with our hands. As you can see, I'm really enjoying eating with my hands. It's very fun. It's very fun. It was really cool. Here's a table of the boys. Just go back one. Eating lunch. We are sitting at a table next to them. You can see I'm eating with my hands. So that is it was just really fun. The last difference was how little the library was. There was very little books. I don't know, it's just so tiny. So this is This is a photo of kids touching my hair. They really liked touching it. It was very different than theirs. As you can see, it's different, just a different texture and shorter and stuff. Mine's more silky and smooth. So, okay, kids.
Thank you, Samantha. And here we go, James.
They liked touching my hair too. This picture is from our second day at the school. 4 of the friends I had met the first day are in this photo. Boniface is behind me. Douglas is on my right. James is behind me on the left. And Alvin is very left of the photo. The first day we were at the school, I went to the 5th grade classroom. There were picnic tables where the kids sat and did their work. That day, they were learning about wind instruments. During class, I met Dennis. Here's a photo where Dennis and I were walking to lunch together. Then we got to their lunchroom. A lady gave me a bowl. It was filled with carrots, cabbage, and ugali. Ugali is a mix of water and cornmeal. That is boiled and then cooled. We sat at the table with a metal covering. I got to eat with my hands. It was cool.
Yep.
Here's a photo of some little kids getting their lunch. This picture shows kids eating at one of the tables covered in metal. After school, I got to play chess with some kids. They were really good. I also played basketball. I taught them how to play horse. Later in the week, I showed them some of my gymnastics. I made a friend named Douglas. This is a photo of us together. We like to talk to each other. He's a really good artist. He drew me this picture. And the hand, he tried replicating mine with the little marks.
Oh,
So
Show me your hands.
Oh,
tried
yeah.
making the lines.
Maybe Douglas will be a doctor. James, that was awesome. It looked like it was a lot of fun there. Thank you so much. And now we've got Samantha back for some more of her experience.
Yeah. So pretty much the rest of the days at the school I spent in the 9th grade classroom. In fact, here I'm sitting with my friend Sharon. It's funny, I made 2 friends named Sharon, one in the 7th grade and one in the 9th grade. So I'm sitting right next to her. Here I am in the 9th grade. Oh, here
Do you
is
want me to go back?
no, it's
Okay.
fine. So yeah, this is a picture of me just, with my this is 9th grade Sharon. The only difference between the 2 classrooms was how the desks was kind of arranged, I feel like. I continue to stay in touch with 2 of my friends from Gtiombo now that I'm home, Sharon from the 9th grade classroom and Ruth from the 7th grade. I use my mom's phone to text and call them on WhatsApp. We often do video calls where we can see each other, which is really fun because, very far away.
Yeah.
I've also shown them when I have been on calls with Sharon and Ruth, they have shown me their neighborhoods and what their houses look like. They have also introduced me to their family and friends, which is very cool. I have also shown them my house, neighbors, friends, and family. When I go up to my grandma's cabin, I've introduced them to my grandpa, my grandparents, and my aunt. When I was at my other aunt's condo, I showed them the other side of my family too. They got to meet her and my cousin Adam. And I think that is it. So, yeah.
Well, I have to say something really quickly while James is coming over. That's all about family. That's what we are. And her family is your family. And that's so cool. Thank you.
So cool.
Tell them how often you talk with your friends.
Probably every week.
Probably every week. And can you talk to them anytime? Or how do you figure out when you can call them?
Oh, yeah. It's 10-hour difference. 10-hour difference.
Wow.
So, I usually talk to them Saturday and Sundays mornings. And since I'm kind of homeschooled, I am homeschooled, I can sometimes talk to them on weekdays when it's their nighttime. So, I have to check the world clock first. I don't know if you can see that.
So what time is it right now?
4:39, almost 4:40.
In nighttime?
No, daytime.
Okay, in the morning.
They're not
so
awake
really,
yet.
really early.
5:40 in the morning right now.
Yeah, so it's very hard to communicate with everybody. So,
But
yeah,
you do it.
yeah, I do.
Great.
So,
And James, more about the sweater.
Do you remember this picture? I had been fit for a sweater our first day there. Well, on our last day visiting the school, Miriam gave me the sweater. She had knitted me. It fit perfect. When we got home, it was very cold. Here's a photo of me the day after we got home. In fact, you can see I'm wearing it right now.
Yes, exactly. Who knew that? What was that, February? And it's May. You still need the sweater.
Today is the perfect day for it. It snowed today.
Perfect.
and who
Thank
would
you.
imagine that someone would come home with a souvenir of a sweater from Africa? Do you
Yeah.
usually think that's something you would buy when you go to Africa? A sweater?
No.
No, and you'd have to buy it, right? You're so lucky.
Oh, thank you so much, James. And Deanna, what amazing kids you and Randy have.
Thank you.
It's just been so much fun to hear your experience and truly to experience it through your eyes. That's a very special opportunity for you, but also for us. Thank you.
Okay, so back to me, I suppose. So I had been asked why I started supporting PAAV-Gtiombo, and I suppose that was a real easy question for me to answer because I really saw the dream and the vision. Yeah, go back.
Yeah, it wasn't advancing for me. There we go.
Okay, and we'll stay back.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, I've been involved with it from the beginning when it was just a dream before anything had happened. And we continue to support today because we see the difference that it's making in both the children and the community in, Gitombo B. Let's see here. I was also asked to share why it was important for us to travel there. And so, it was important for our family because we've all been a part of the school for a long time. Again, I can remember when it was just really this idea was just placed on Wanji's heart. The project was stirring inside her and she was brainstorming. And then Randy and I were asked to come to the first meeting when, action was starting to happen and things were starting to roll. From there, I spent many of those first years as a member of the board. In fact, my own children, Samantha and James, came as little infants and toddlers to many of those meetings. And we've all been to nearly every fundraising event that has been put on. And my own children have also contributed some of their own funds to supporting the school. But more than that, we really wanted to go see it in person. We wanted to meet the students, teachers, and parents. We wanted to see the village. We wanted to see Nairobi and experience being in Kenya. We wanted to experience the culture and see how others in the world live. Opportunities like these are invaluable. It's important to try new things, travel to new places, experience new things. Though we all come from different places, different backgrounds, and have different viewpoints, we still have more in common than not.
Kind of a big day, actually.
I believe we are all more similar than we are different. Wanji and I have been friends for 26 years. We actually met at orientation when Wanji moved here to the United States to attend Denver Seminary. Her and I have walked through good times and really hard times together. We've done so from close proximity while she was living here and from far away now that she's living back in Kenya. And thanks to technology like this, that's capable, or we're capable of doing that. It's not like, when I was growing up and you would have had to handwrite and wait months to, have it shipped over. Her and I are able to communicate just like now Samantha and her friends are doing with technology like we're using right now. So speaking of friendship, a really special part of going to Kenya for me was to finally meet some of Wanji's family members whom I felt so close to over the years. People like her mom, her son, and her grandchildren. In fact, Wanji's first grandchild was born exactly 1 month before our second child, James. So her granddaughter was born on May 28th, and my son was born that same June 28th. So it's been fun for Wanji and I to share that experience of having a child the same age, kind of growing up and going through the same, developmental process together, but from two completely different places. And so with that said, I'm going to now share some of the pictures that were really special, just thinking about that friendship in mind and my ability to. So here is me meeting Wanji's mom for the very first time. I mean, I've waited a really long time to meet this woman. And so it was so fun to finally be able to meet her. And we called her Maito, which is mom, apparently. So Maito was just such a special part of our experience there. So you can go ahead and move on. This picture is actually the first meal that we all shared together. We have on the kind of the left side, we have Pauline. She is Maito's caretaker. And then Wanji. Next to Wanji, we have Gianna. She is 5. And then Samantha. Then we have Daniela, which is the same age as James. And then Wanji's daughter-in-law. Children, help me out. What is Ricky's wife's name? I'm blanking all of a sudden.
It'll come back.
Anyway, I'm blanking right now. And then my husband, Randy. So this was the first meal that day that we shared together. And then on that first morning, so another thing that we've waited years to do. I mean, we have been Emmy. Thank you, Samantha. So Wanji's daughter-in-law's name is Emmy. So that first morning, here is James eating a mango, which sounds like, okay, great, he's eating a mango. But I told Wanji when we went to Africa, she had told me about eating mangoes straight from the tree. And that was something I really, really just wanted to do. So as dumb as this is, for years, we've been talking about finally being able to eat a mango from the tree. And so James was given the first morning this mango, and Wanji handed it to him and said, James, eat this like a monkey would eat it. So here he is, like a monkey, eating a mango, skin and all. And it was mango season, and we ate many, many, many mangoes, and we ate many mangoes every single day. It was amazing.
But they were just a little better than the grocery store mangoes.
Yes. And so here they are. This is the first time they've met Gianna and Daniela, and they were here playing kind of in a little grassy area by Wanji's house. And the next slide shows their mom and dad with Randy and Maito watching the children play. So that was really special. And there they are again, still just watching, and Wanji's videoing
filming,
them. Yes. And then this is one of the days that the girls had come home from school, because again, we were there at the second week of the school year. So they had come home from school, and then, the kids got to play together. I think here's just another. They were very kind. They let us use all their toys. So we rode bikes, and they had rollerblades. And anyway, they had a really good time playing with, my kids with her kids. So that was really special. All right, yes. So speaking about traveling and being able to be, in Kenya and experience Kenya, we had never really been around sugarcane. So here we are, there's a bunch of sugarcane right here. And next slide, that's been cut down. Next slide. And here it is in the bowl for us. But admittedly, we had no idea how to eat it. but we had a fantastic teacher. So here's Maito showing us how it's done. And if you've never eaten sugarcane, it's very fibrous and it's very juicy. And so really you just kind of bite a chunk off and you just chew on it, kind of like you're a cow, like you're chewing some cud, until all the fibers are left and none of the sweet juices are left. And then you just take the fibers out and get a new piece. So it was quite a fun but different experience. So James, yeah, he wasn't quite sure about it. Now, this is a picture from our very last meal with them. But we have in this, what is that? In the tin foil there is a very special treat for us. So in the next photo, we have Ricky is carving this meat and it's goat meat. So again, another, oh yes, I'm being reminded by my children that it's called nyama choma, is fantastic. So yet another thing that we got to experience that is part of their normal culture, right? But it is special. I mean, oh man, it was fantastic. So our last meal there with Wanji's family, and here we are again. So Wanji, Maito, Randy, and I kind of sat in some other chairs to the side that night, and the children sat with, I don't think I've introduced him, but the man in the white shirt, that's Ricky, Wanji's son. So it was just another just lovely meal that we shared together. So what do we have next? Oh yeah, and this, we just took a group photo the last night that we were there. So that was inside Wanji's home. And then Wanji wanted us to include these pictures. I had not included them. But this is the morning. So Maito was going, she had been staying with Wanji for the week that we had been there, but was headed back that morning to her own house out in Gitombo B. And so this is us kind of saying goodbye to Maito. And I just love this photo because Randy and Maito had matching clothes on, not intentionally, but they just looked really great together. And then we have a photo of James saying goodbye and Samantha saying goodbye. Just such wonderful moments together.
Amen.
And then the last one that I had, I really wanted this photo of Wanji and I at the school together, because what was once a dream is now a thriving reality. And it really is amazing to have watched from the beginning. And I just, everyone who is on the call, thank you so much for being here. And what I really want you to know about Wanji, she really is a visionary for the Lord. She's a mighty prayer warrior and an action taker, a mighty mover of mountains. PAAV-Gtiombo School is an incredible testimony of God's work through his faithful servant, Wanji. We were grateful to have walked, we were grateful to have walked by her side and had the opportunity and privilege to visit as she continues to press on for his glory and bless his children. The school is doing well and continues to grow, but they are in need of support to continue this great work that they're doing. And I know that the board can speak to those needs that they have, but I'd encourage you, if you're not already supporting, to support if you can help. And then just the other thing that I would encourage is that if you're considering visiting, I definitely recommend taking action and making it happen. I mean, we waited 7 years because we wanted our kids to be at a place where it would be meaningful for them. But truly, it really, you'll be amazed at all you will see and experience and learn. So that's about what I have.
Thank you so much. So beautiful. Thank you, Samantha and James. Oh my goodness. It's just been an honor. And Olivia and I have been trading notes back and forth. Wanji's still sleeping. We'll forgive her for that. But I think you did a wonderful job then just, giving us a sense of this calling that Wanji has and the amazing work that she's accomplished. There are a few things that I know she wanted to say because we practiced this when it wasn't bedtime for her on Monday. And one of the things she said was just how incredibly valuable it was for the students at Gitombo School to get to meet students here, get to meet people who are supporting them and care about them and love them. Truly, they are all our kids. So I want to just share a few closing comments with you. First of all, just that celebration of family, just keying in on that. We are all brothers and sisters in the eyes of the Lord. And this was intentionally a connection of all our kids. And I will tell you, it was also intentionally the week of Mother's Day, so that we can all feel like we are the parents of these kids in Gitombo School. And if you're looking for like that last minute gift for Mother's Day, hey, a gift to Hope Gitombo in honor of your mother, we think that's perfect. You don't even have to wrap it. But I have a few more things also to share with you. Deanna queued this up just beautifully. I am so happy to announce that we are organizing a trip to Gitombo in the dry season of 2027. So it'll happen in January or February. Looks like we'll have 8 spots available, and we want you to consider going. There are some leaders in place, so there's probably 5 or 6 spots available right now. Of those 8. So please pray about that. And I put my email in the bottom of this screen. You're welcome to email me for more information, but we'll also be getting out more information very soon on this. We're super excited to be able to offer it. And I would imagine those of you who have just heard the story from the Adami family may be a little more interested in going now too. Also, just any gift that you are led to give, as I mentioned, perhaps an alternative gift for Mother's Day, but every gift makes a very big difference for these students and their families in Gitombo. And a nice last reminder, there is a paper survey that was included in your newsletter, and there's also a link online, which you would have seen in the email that came out today to remind you of the Zoom call. We just ask if you could please give us your feedback by Monday. We want these in by Monday. You've had them for a few weeks, but nothing like the last minute. That's when I get everything done. So please give us your feedback, because the board and Wanji, we just really treasure that insight from you, and we treasure you and your support over these years. I do also want to let you know that we will have a link for this recording that we'll be sending out to everybody. And we encourage you to share it with people that you know. We would love to come and make a presentation at your church or a community organization or neighborhood. And we're just more than happy to do that. You can connect to us through just emailing me or info@hopegitombo.org. And then I'm curious, I'm not seeing everybody. I think I could go back to I'm going to stop sharing because I don't think I have anything else that needs to be shared.
Catherine,
Yeah.
Before we go to the other stuff, I just had one thing is we've been updating the website. So
thank you, Peter.
Lots of the stories and information and connections, the survey, newsletter, all those things are going to be up on the website. So, and that's just hopegitombo.org.
Thank you for that reminder. Absolutely. So, we went through this whole presentation and we had 3 questions that were first sent out about, join this call and you'll hear about, I think one of them, what was unique? What did the kids at Gitombo really find unique about the kids visiting? And I think you heard that answer from Samantha, just touching their hair that was so different. And another one was, what is ugali? And James, thanks for describing that to us. That was often served for lunch. And the third, we wondered whether we should share this, but since we did, I guess we need to tell you the answer. And it is, what is the correlation between cell phones and toilets? And here's the answer. Very interestingly, would you believe that 5.8 to 5.9 billion people in the world have access to a cell phone. That is from the World Economic Forum. And yet only, and that's about 70% of the world's population, only 4.6 billion people, or about 57% of the world's population, have access to basic sanitation and clean water. Isn't that disturbing and amazing at the same time? There's just so much work to continue to do. And one of the things, Peter, you pointed out the water catchment system at the school, and Peter is a hydrologist, so that follows. But that there is a holistic approach at Gtiombo, and I want you to know that it's education. It's so much more than that. You have just journeyed to Gitombo. You have seen what you've been doing at Gitombo through the eyes of this family, and I want to thank you for being a part of it. Also want to let you know that Wanji's coming here to Colorado, September, October this year, and we'll have an in-person event with her. We're targeting October 10th through 12th, one of those days. So you'll hear more about that soon as well. Thank you. Just a huge thank you for joining us for this today. And I just would like to, I'll be a very distant second because Wanji was going to close us in prayer, but I will do that with just great gratitude for each of you and for this time to be together. Let's pray. Almighty God, you are over all and in all, and you are the author of love. You are the teacher of all knowledge, and we just thank you for this time today to be able to hear from the Adami family, to be able to see the lives that are touched and celebrate the way that you are at work in Gitombo B. I ask your blessing for each one here and ask you to show us the ways we are to continue to serve you with the love of Jesus. In his name we pray. Amen.